so many people uh, who have attained spirituality or even were divine throughout the human history and across religions, starting from Christ and Muhammad, Guru Nanak, even in Hindu religion, Sri Ram, Sri Krishna. Even recently, I would quote Ramanna Maharishi, Osho. All of them have tried to do this to spread the message, which I think you are also saying, right? It is inherently the same message of conscious living, and it was beautifully enumerated in our earlier scriptures also. But humanity is so smart that once that era passes or that person passes, they morph or transform the message and then use it for their own advantage, right? So even religions, as I guess as it they were very powerful devices, but even those were transformed a little, and then they were used against the humanity rather than to uplift them. So my question is, like, why do you think, like, it can succeed now? Because earlier it has succeeded a little bit, but it has never succeeded into conversion into a mass movement, right? And what support would you need to do this a little bit quicker, into a mass movement where you will be able to raise individuals at a faster speed? And what is the specific role of a government should be to to work on this also, along with the other things which it is doing?
No doubt your question is very relevant because since time immemorials, enlightened masters have been making efforts to educate humanity and to bring them towards the dimension of their own inner growth so that they can become more conscious and they can live a better life. But as you see, everything is in a process of evolution and growth.
Mm-hmm.
Even in matters of our material world, we have been growing and through a process of evolution, now we have reached a much enlightened stage. Now we are harvesting greater fruits of our scientific wisdom.
Hmm.
Likewise, even in the field of spirituality and even in the field of inner world, the science of the inner kept on growing from the Vedic times up till now. It had many phases,
Yeah.
and with its gradual growth, now it has reached such a point that we can do away with a number of deficiencies and drawbacks which hampered the growth of humanity because of lack of inner growth. And the devices for inner growth have been sharpened, have been made more effective, and with the help of those devices and also with the help of science and technology, now we are in a much better position, thousand times in much better position to ensure inner transformation and inner growth of individuals on this planet as a whole.
Hmm.
And that is why at every stage of the growth of humanity, same tools and devices have not worked. The tools and devices which worked 2000, 3000 years back
Yeah.
have become of no use for today. So, with the new devices coming through the experience of the masters of the present century, we can make greater use and we can make them available to larger and larger sections of society today, which was impossible earlier. So there is no gainsaying the fact that we are in a better position for our inner growth and inner transformation that
Okay.
we had been earlier. And it is on the basis of my own authenticity, I can say that if right attention is given, and for which I have been making all out efforts, so that all the ails of our spiritual system and spiritual approach, which has not been able to ensure success up till now,
Yeah.
can achieve greater success. For example, with all the organized religions, what has been happening? They simply remained confined to the observance of certain rules and rituals which got associated with that particular religion
Hmm.
or sect. And the fundamental message of inner growth, which this enlightened spiritual master wanted to give during his lifetime, was lost. Buddha himself wanted to impart the message of conscious living through meditation.
Hmm.
And he revolted against the spiritual practices of ritualism and unnecessary activities which were not going to yield any result in their life transformation.
Hmm.
That is why he stood against idol worship and all the rituals which were prevailing in those times.
Yeah.
But what happened with the followers of Buddha, the Buddhists? They started worshipping Buddha himself.
Yeah.
And one of the Buddhist temples, you will find 10,000 idols of Buddha. 10,000 idols of such a person who had been advocating all through his life against idol worship.
Yeah.
So, this had been happening with all the organized religions, whether it was Jainism or Judaism or Christianity. They fell victim to the organizational drawbacks, and ultimately, instead of doing any good to humanity, they proved as instruments of harming humanity. Ultimately, all these religions have today become a burden
Yeah.
rather than becoming a source of redemption. They have become a source of conflict and warfare, and they are proving to be a source of destruction. So, this has got to be particularly made aware to the people that religion is not something associated with the masses, it is associated with the individual.
Hmm.
And the individual of the 21st century, because he has been imparted education in science and technology, so try to wean out the truth
Hmm.
from the untruth, should try to wean out the meaningful from the unmeaningful. And that is what I have been trying to do through Science Divine, so that the essence of spirituality, the very science of spirituality, may be understood and imbibed by people rather than confining themselves to the periphery of spirituality or religions. And it is remaining confined to the periphery of spirituality or religions, that all the ills of humanity are still surviving, and we need to destroy them on a large scale. And that is why this science divine movement has become mandatory on this planet in the 21st century.
Right.